Okay, so imagine a moment where the volume of the world just drops.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, that something tragic has happened. You aren't sobbing or anything. But there is this sudden, um, overwhelming sensation of flatness.
Yeah, like the color just drains out of everything.
Exactly. If the saturation slider on reality just got pulled to zero, you're just sitting there, and the noise stops long enough for
Yeah.
this one daunting question to rise up.
What is the point of all this?
That's the one.
It's the question that just stops everything in its tracks. It's like the script you've been reading from your whole life is suddenly, well, it's gibberish.
Right.
And we tend to slap this really scary label on it, existential crisis. But what we found in the research for today is that this feeling it's less about a breakdown.
And more about a breakthrough.
Precisely.
And look, before we scare everyone off thinking we're just going to, spend 20 minutes staring into the void, we are not. We're looking at a whole stack of sources today. I mean, it ranges from clinical psychology to modern philosophy, and they all point to something really surprising.
They do. And that's really the mission of this deep dive. We want to unpack that specific sensation of questioning your existence, but we're going to flip the narrative because the common idea is that you question the meaning of life when your life is, falling apart.
Of course.
But what the sources suggest is actually much, much trickier. This crisis often arrives not when things go wrong, but when they go right.
And that was the hood for me. I think that's where we have to start, because if you're miserable, of course you question things. But the idea that you can tick every single box, the good job, the nice house, the relationship, and that is the moment the floor drops out. I mean, that feels cruel.
It feels cruel, but neurologically and psychologically, it makes a kind of sense. Let's dig into that first major concept from our stack, the paradox of success.
This ties right into what one of the articles called the when trap. I think everyone listening has this little program running in the background. I'll be happy when.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be happy when I get the promotion. Or I'll feel complete when I close on the house. We live our lives just leaning forward.
Just tripping over ourselves to get to the next milestone.
Yeah, we treat happiness like it's a destination on a map.
It's the arrival fallacy, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. You think crossing that finish line fundamentally changes who you are.
It doesn't.
No. And the sources, they paint this really vivid picture of what they call the hollow victory. Let's play that out. You get the promotion, the confetti falls.
Everyone says, good job, and then Monday morning rolls around.
Right. And you're still...
Right, yeah.
That's the hollow victory. The achievement, it gives you stability, maybe a salary bump, sure, but it just uncovers a new layer of questioning. Psychologists link it to the hedonic treadmill. You get what you want, your baseline for happiness just resets, and you're left with the exact same internal state as before. But now you don't have the goal to distract you.
That's the kicker.
Yeah.
The goal was the noise. It was blocking out the silence.
I wrote this down from one of the authors in all caps. It said, "Your soul is hungry for more than milestones."
I love that phrasing.
It sounds a bit poetic, but it's actually so practical. We have these appetites for safety, for status, for comfort. Milestones feed those. But we have this other appetite, a hunger for meaning that a job title just can't, it can't metabolize.
That's it. You can have a full bank account and a starving spirit. And this is where the shame kicks in, right? Because if you're successful and you feel empty, you feel like a brat.
Totally. I should be grateful. What's wrong with me?
But that quiet emptiness that follows the win, it feels dark and lonely, but the research suggests it's actually an invitation.
An invitation to what?
An invitation to admit that you have outgrown the old answers.
Outgrown them. I like that. It's like wearing a coat that fit you perfectly when you were 22. It kept you warm, it looked good. But now you're 35, and the sleeves are halfway up your forearms, and you can't zip it. It's not a bad coat, you just got bigger.
And you can't force yourself back into it no matter how hard you try. That friction, that tight feeling, that is the crisis.
The friction between who you've become and the life you built for who you used to be.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's get specific on the timing. We know success can trigger this. But the sources highlight a few other catalysts. Why does it happen at these specific moments?
Well, sometimes it is just a random Tuesday, but usually it's triggered by a transition. And again, the good transitions are the sneakiest.
A milestone.
We call them milestones, but the psychologists in our stack call them identity shakers. Graduating, getting married, becoming a parent.
Which is so ironic because those are the things that are supposed to solidify your identity. I am a graduate. I am a mother.
They solidify a role. But sometimes that role consumes the person. You step into the costume of the professional or the parent, and then you realize you've lost the actor underneath.
And you start asking, who am I when I'm not performing this function for somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
That leads right into that analogy from the reading that really stuck with me, the passenger seat.
Oh, that's a classic, a great one.
The idea that you're moving at, I don't know, 70 miles per hour, you're
Right.
hitting your targets, you're paying your mortgage, you're going to brunch, but you aren't holding the wheel. You're
Yeah.
just in the car.
It's a dissociation from your own agency. You're moving by momentum, not by intention. And you see this a lot in what the literature calls the paper tiger career.
The paper tiger. Okay, so this is the job that looks amazing on LinkedIn.
That's the one. If you put your life on a spreadsheet, salary, benefits, title, it's perfect. Your parents are thrilled, your friends are jealous.
But inside.
Viscerally, it leaves you cold. It's a structure without any heat.
I think I had a paper tiger job a few years back. Good money, cool office, free snacks.
The whole deal.
And I remember sitting in a meeting thinking, if I died right now, my biggest regret would be that I spent 45 minutes of my life debating the font size on this slide deck.
And that's the moment, isn't it? That's the realization. The friction just burns you out. You're not tired from the work. You're tired from the meaninglessness of the work.
And you start wondering, is this it? Is this my life for the next 30 years?
Yeah.
And we have to touch on the other side, too. We've talked about success, but what about the collapse of structure? What about grief?
Yes. And we need to broaden that definition of grief. It's not just death, it's distance, a breakup, a layoff. The sources describe grief as the collapser of meaning. We build our lives around people and institutions. They're like the load-bearing walls of our reality.
When one of those walls gets knocked out, the whole roof caves in.
Exactly. It's not just that you miss the person or the job, it's that the map you were using to navigate the world,
Yeah.
it's useless now.
It has a giant hole in the middle of it.
Right. You're standing in the rubble, holding a map that doesn't match the territory anymore, and that is a terrifying place to be.
Okay, so we've got the why and the when. But I want to get visceral. I want to talk about the what. What does this actually feel like?
Yeah.
Because when you're in it, it doesn't feel like some lofty philosophical debate. It feels like you're losing your mind.
It is a whole landscape of symptoms. And the most potent image I saw from the text is the dark room.
Let's unpack that. It sounds ominous, but it's really, really descriptive of the cognitive state.
Okay, so imagine you're in a room that is pitch black. You don't know where the walls are, you don't know where the door is, and there is no light switch.
Okay.
That sensation of being completely directionless, it's not just that you don't know which way to go, it's that you can't even see the options. You feel stuck.
And when you're stuck in the dark, your brain doesn't just, chill out and wait. It goes into overdrive.
Oh, the mental loop. It's brutal. This is constant overthinking.
Even when everything is quiet.
Especially when it's quiet. You're just sitting on the couch, TV's off, and your mind is running a marathon. You're analyzing the past, trying to find where you went wrong, simulating all these catastrophic futures.
It's like your brain is trying to solve a puzzle, but it's missing half the pieces, so it just keeps jamming the wrong ones together over and over.
It's a desperate attempt to regain control. If I can just think my way out of this, but you can't think your way out of a feeling problem.
And this leads to something the material call the stranger in the mirror, this social withdrawal.
Yes, and this is so important to clarify. Because this is where people feel so much guilt. You stop returning texts. You stop going out. You're not pulling away because you don't love your friends. You aren't being arrogant. You're withdrawing because you feel like a stranger to yourself.
That hits hard. It's like, how can I interact with you when I don't even know who I am right now?
Exactly. I don't know which mask to wear. Social interaction, it requires a persona. I'm the funny friend, or I'm the reliable one. When those start to crumble, you don't have a script.
So it's easier to just not go on stage.
To hide. And when hiding isn't enough, when the thoughts get too loud, we look for the mute button.
Numbing the void.
A classic symptom.
Yeah.
And it's not always, drugs or alcohol, though it can be. In 2024, it's often way more subtle. It's doom scrolling until your eyes burn.
Okay, I feel called out.
We all do. It's binge watching a show you don't even really like for 6 hours straight. It's an anesthetic.
You're filling the silence with noise. The silence is where the scary questions live.
Right. If I stop scrolling, I have to ask myself, what am I doing? So you just don't stop scrolling.
And all of this,
Yeah.
all this mental work, has a physical tax.
A massive tax. The emotional weight of questioning your existence, It literally manifests as physical gravity, low energy, burnout. You wake up tired.
And small tasks like doing the laundry feel like climbing a mountain.
Because you are carrying the weight of why on your back,
What?
and why is the heaviest thing a human can carry.
Okay, so we've painted a picture here, and honestly, it's a pretty bleak one. Dark room, exhausted, confused. If the listener's nodding along to this, feeling seen, but also maybe a little exposed, where do we go from here?
Right.
Because we promised this wasn't just a breakdown.
And this is the pivot. This is the most crucial insight from all the research. We have to reframe this entire experience. What you're feeling is not a malfunction. It is not a sign that you are broken. It's a concept known in psychology as positive disintegration.
Positive disintegration. That sounds like a contradiction.
It does, but think about it. For a new structure to be built, the old one has to be dismantled first. This crisis is a turning point. It is your heart and mind finally demanding that you stop running on autopilot.
So the pain is just the friction of the brakes being slammed on.
And the brakes are necessary. You were heading in a direction that didn't serve you. Now you've stopped. And only because you've stopped can you choose a new direction.
I love the distinction the source makes between fixing and discovering. Our instinct when we feel bad is, I need to fix this, make it go away.
Right. We treat it like a leaky pipe. Patch it up so I can get back to normal. But this isn't a leak. This is a renovation. You are not there to fix yourself because you aren't broken. You are there to discover yourself.
That's a huge shift. One source said, the old version of you is retiring.
Exactly. The version of you that chased the milestones, that played all the roles. That version did its job. It got you here, but it can't take you where you need to go next.
So the question isn't, how do I get back to who I was?
No. The question is, who is waiting to be born?
Who is waiting to be born? Wow. That turns the fear into curiosity. It turns the dark room into a womb, a place of creation.
It opens the door to the authentic self. When the shoulds and the musts all fall away, what's left? You might find new passions you suppressed for years because they weren't practical.
You might find the courage to live differently, more authentically.
It's the difference between being safe and being alive. The routine is safe. The familiar is safe. But the crisis comes to tell you that safety is no longer enough. You're ready for something real.
So let's bring this all home. We started in that moment of silence, that feeling of flatness. We walked through the paradox of success, the catalysts.
The symptoms like the dark room, the mental loop, the numbing.
But we landed at the crossroads. The realization that this dismantling is actually a preparation for rebuilding your life on a stronger, truer foundation. So if you're in that dark room right now listening to this, be gentle with yourself. That was the biggest takeaway for me. We're so hard on ourselves for not being happy all the time.
But the emptiness you feel isn't a void. It's space.
It's space for something new to enter.
Exactly. You can't fill a cup that's already full. Life has emptied your cup so you can pour something fresh into it. So don't rush to fill it with noise. Just sit with it.
And as we close out, we want to leave you with a thought to carry with you. A little homework, I guess.
If you stripped away all the milestones, the job title, the degrees, the house, and if you stripped away the routines and the roles you play for other people, parent, partner, employee.
If you were left alone in that quiet room, just you, simply existing.
What is the one thing you would truly want your life to stand for?
Not what it should stand for, what you want it to stand for.
That's the question that turns the crisis into a calling.
Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.